Hey there, YouTube friends. It's Ryan from AllMine Ranch, giving you a weekend update for Saturday, August 5th. Just wanted to share a couple of projects I'm working on. Still very hot here. We had a couple of days that got down into the low 90s earlier this week, but now we're back to the weekend, super hot, going to be pushing 100 plus today. I went and got new tires on my truck, so I think I mentioned in a previous video they came in two different shipments and it took me about 4 days to get them all. But I went to the Big O tire this morning and I got some mud tires put on my truck. It's now a little bit louder to going down the highway, but not too terrible and worth it. I got mud tires because the roads I have to use to get to my house are very rocky, at times very muddy, full of clay. When the monsoon rains hit, that clay gets sticky. I didn't have any problems with my old tires, but they were the ones that came with my truck when I bought it about 3 years ago. But I recently made my last payment on that truck, which I'm very happy about. And the tires were looking a little thin, so I said, you know, I'm going to go with some man tires. So now I have them on here, which is cool. So I'm got a few projects going this weekend. I bought lumber at Home Depot. I'm going to start another solar rack to get 3 more panels outside because with more capacity, battery capacity, I need more power generation ability, especially on the days when I'm trying to run my AC, you know, past sunset. I absolutely need more power. So that's a project. I got the lumber for it, dropped about 200 bucks at Home Depot on pressure treated lumber earlier today in order to knock that out. Ooh, sweating. But I've got rabbits tearing me up. You know, I built this deck. I'll show it to you. Let's walk and talk. I've got this deck. I spend a lot of time on it. I had envisioned lots of plants and succulents and greenery up here, and I've tried to do it repeatedly. I got pots all over the place. Some of the plants, like this little bush, didn't do so well. Some of my stuff is doing great, but I got rabbits and rats probably come up on the deck. It used to just be at night. Now they're doing it in the middle of the day while I'm working, and just getting into my succulent pots and just rooting around in there, and just half the plants are gone. I'm pretty sure it's small rabbits. I've seen them right up around the deck, under the deck. I know they're around, and I let Stanley chase them, but they're succeeding. So, I walked away. I shouldn't have done that. So my point is, I've got some leftover shelf brackets, pretty good size ones. These big, oh man, they're hot. Everything's hot in the sun. Got these big mamma jammas. I think I'm going to put them on this wall under this window and put a big wide shelf, big enough for about 3 pots of about that size. 3 big terracotta pots. I got to put it high enough so my head doesn't whack the edge of the shelf when I'm sitting here in my chairs watching the sunset. But I think with the big shelf about 4.5 feet up off the deck, I'll be able to put about 3 big terracotta pots and hopefully keep them out of range of the rabbits. So I'm going to actually mount those big shelf brackets to the tiny house itself. And then for shelving, I have a bunch of leftover OSB that I had used for my subfloor on my new workshop. So that's what this is, this big strip of OSB. I'm just going to cut about a 4-foot section. I also bought some blue paint from Home Depot on closeout. Nice blue. It's almost the same as the color of my tiny house roof and my workshop roof, but I got it for $9 a gallon. Was normally it's like 55 bucks a gallon. So I bought 3 cans of blue. So I think I'm going to cut that into a shelf and paint it blue because it will be directly exposed to the elements. It may not last more than a year or 2, but this OSB is pretty good quality and I've actually been fairly impressed. So I'm going to work on this shelf bracket project. I need to start on the solar rack project. I did some other fun things like emptying my camping toilet into my septic system. 2 years here and I'm still using a camping toilet. So that's a joy that I get to enjoy about every 2 weeks. So I did that, got the tires on the truck, and yeah, I just have a long list of projects. I had a few others that I want. Oh, I bought a ceiling fan on closeout from Home Depot about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, kind of a stubby little one. I think I might install it in the tiny house. So Because, yeah, air circulation is always a challenge, especially trying to get cooled air from the air conditioner up into my loft where I sleep. That's typically about 10 degrees hotter than the downstairs. So I don't know if I'll get to that today or tomorrow, but I at least brought that small fan into the tiny house, so it's in my way. I'll be forced to open it up and start thinking about installing it. So yeah, a lot of projects. Anyway, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. I will make some progress on the shelf thing and then start filming again, show you how it went. Rolling. All right. I used my little circular saw, the Ryobi battery powered circular saw, to cut this in half in lengthwise, halfway lengthwise. Then I just used the circ saw to take some edges off of this, which I then used my sander to round a little bit, just so I'm just going to be sitting out on the deck near the shelf. Don't want to bash my head onto a corner, which is likely. Every time I go in and out my front door, it'll be right there to my side, and I kind of go around to the left towards it. So I have to round it off. So I did that, did a super quick sand to knock down the edges. Now I'm going to paint it bluish green with this. Sorry if my cadence is off a little bit. Out of breath, trying to move fast. This is the first day I've really been willing to work outside. It's 102 right now, if I didn't mention that. In here it's probably 104 in this workshop. I hadn't actually been in here in a week. Anyway, let me paint this and I'll show you what it looks like. Yes sir, it is hot out here. I am sweating pretty much continuously, even though it's dry. It's a normal Arizona dry heat day. Anyway, I put one shelf bracket, one screw and one shelf bracket right here. Oh shoot, I forgot my level. Anyway, I'm getting started on the bracket aspect, so I just thought I'd show you that. And I'm using these long black lag screw bolts for lumber, and that's into a stud. Notice how I've got the line of a window coming straight down where that is, because there's a king stud there. And then, anyway, you'll see it in a moment. All right, I just put another screw in another shelf bracket, but it's so hot out here, these white shelf brackets, even though they're white and reflective, sitting them out here for about 20-30 minutes, and I can't even touch them with my bare hand. I had to have a glove in my left to hold the bracket as I drilled it on. I got it level, but my shelf isn't quite dry enough yet. Maybe 10 more minutes, but I'll show you what it looks like with the shelf before I go any further. All right, I just put the shelf up here. It's not attached in any way. It's just loose sitting there, but it is level. I may have to add a third bracket in the center because of the weight. I thought it'd be a little more evenly divided, so weight out on the ends would offset any weight in the center. But no, I'm gonna have to do that. But I think it looks pretty good. But I got to paint the underside of it now and just kind of do that. All right, guys, sun's getting a little lower. It's only about 100 now. It was 103 before. I think the shelf is done. I think it's a success. It's holding some weight. I got a few plants on there. I can sit in my chair under it. Sorry about the shroud on my chair, but man, the sun is so hot that it's just baking everything. I don't know how to say it. The ceramic pots, like over here, the blue one, gets to be about, oh yeah, that one gets to be about 300 degrees. The white metal shelf brackets got so hot, even though they're white, that I had to use a glove to touch them just to mount them. You know, terracotta pots like that, they're just cooking. Like even my wooden deck surface, you know, which normally I can stand on in bare feet, in the middle of the day I couldn't stand on it in bare feet. It's just been a hot day. But anyway, I did break my ceiling fan out of the box. It's inside. I'll show you that another day. I got a shelf up. I brought a bunch of lumber out of the house. I did the Home Depot run and got a bunch of lumber. So I'm basically going to make another solar rack somewhat like these, same angle, same design, but I'm going to chop off about 2 feet off the bottom so everything's much lower to the ground. Yes, I'm worried about cows, but weight is a factor and movability is a factor as well. So I'm going to make one wide enough to hold 3 panels. It's going to be a little shorty guy. I'm starting to lay that out, figure out all my wood, get it all staged. So maybe I'll get up early Sunday morning tomorrow and start working on a solar rack. And if I do, I'll do my darndest to film as much of it as I can. Anyway, it was a hot Saturday, but I ran around town to Sierra Vista and got a lot done. And I got some projects going, and even though it was crazy hot, for some reason I had motivation and energy to work in the heat, whereas the last 3-4 weekends in a row I just have not, and I've just hunkered down and consumed a lot of movies and media and just tried to stay cool. But I feel a little better today, so I tackled it, and I'll tackle some more tomorrow. All right, thanks for watching. Later.